Have you ever had to start over, either in life or in health? Well, this is a place today to do it if you are in a season like that, or if you are just reflecting on it, trying to dig deep into the past, find periods of strength where you overcame, channel some of that into the present moment to help carry us on, power us on in life and health. We're going to try to dig deep into this thinking today. I am at a bit of a starting over point myself. If you've been following along on the channel, you know, a little unplanned mini summer hiatus. I got a little bit ill, unfortunately. Lyme disease hit me. Somehow, you know, I spend so much time out in the woods and never saw a tick. I tried my best not to get it, but then somehow it got me. So it's been a tough stretch. And I'm going to share some thoughts with you from this book. The last session we did a few weeks ago, Radical Acceptance. Watched that again yesterday and just really liked the thinking. Going to dive in and share some thoughts that have been really helpful to me. I hope that they are helpful to you. Help us get through whatever season we're in. Hopefully it's a good season. Take whatever season we are in, try to make it our best season that it can be, given the circumstances that we have. Whatever we're facing, our obstacles, we'll face them together and walk forward in health. How are you doing? Let me know in the chat. If you're here live, say hi in the comments if you're coming through. Want this to be your space. How are things for you? I've been reflecting, you know, I went through a season, spring, more snacking, not so much fasting, wasn't as active as I wanted, really kind of got out of a lot of health routines. I started thinking, you know, doing these sessions, our talking, I was like, oh, health routines, what are the foundations, the things we fall back on during difficult times? We got a quote, I think it was from Atomic Habits. What was it? We don't fall back to something, we fall back to the level of our habits. Our routine, our process, something like that. So we spent the spring, I did, building the processes, the daily habits, the practice, and then hit it really hard. That was my perspective. How did you do? Summer weight loss challenge. Weren't we hitting that like June, July, something like that? I hit that so hard. And I was feeling so good. I was feeling about the strongest and best that I have felt in years. And isn't this the case in life? So often we have linear thinking. We just think, oh, life is just a straight line. And isn't this what we want it to be? You know, in a weight loss space, in a health space, we just say, oh, like just easy street right to the goal. Or we're trying to, maybe this is the better line. Just make the number go down in a smooth fashion, okay? But isn't life more like this? So often life is cycles. Maybe we say, oh, we're trying to smooth that out a bit, and then we say, oh, dip, and then back, you know? I'd be playing for that one now. But then sometimes also we can have seasons like this, where it's like we try to come up for air, and then it feels like, whoa. So that was one reflection I have. Life and our journey through it, rarely a linear process, and accepting that is what we're going to get into a little bit today. So many times, have you experienced this in life? Our biggest frustrations come because of expectations that we have. We have expectations. We set them, linear process, A to B. And then life happens. And all of a sudden we have fallen so far from that line because we cycled through something. And now we say, oh, we should have been up here and now we're here. Can be so discouraging. what I've been seeing during this low point, as I've been sitting on the couch I've never liked the phrase brain fog. Like I've never liked that, but that's been what I've been experiencing, just feeling in a fog. I was feeling that discrepancy. I was like, wasn't I just hiking up mountains? Like my curve, I was hiking up mountains, and then it feels like we crashed. And then now we are somewhere down here, the very big discrepancy between where I want to be, personally, where we're going. Have you ever felt like that? Some of this reading going to help to reframe our thinking, is helping me reframe my thinking. This is from a section titled Without Anxiety About Imperfection. And there's 4 paragraphs here. I'll give you some thoughts on each of them, I think, as we go. But even this phrase, how does that sit with you? Without anxiety about imperfection. We get into a very low season, and it's easy to pile on ourselves. In this last session I did a couple weeks ago, when I was just starting to feel badly, I was even reflecting on that. So much negative thinking coming in, and I had so many expectations. I have so many thoughts that I want to share with you. Talks I want to give, papers and books to read, and I have all these things. I was so angry at myself. Like, can't you write a single talk, And it's like, hindsight is 20/20, right? Like in retrospect, like I had no idea what was coming. Oh man. Without anxiety about imperfection, okay? Here's this author, Tara Brach, saying, many people have told me that when they are finally able to see how long their life has been imprisoned by self-hatred and shame, they feel not only grief, but also a sense of hope, like waking up from a bad dream. When we can see our prison, we also see our potential. Marie is here. Welcome back. I hope you are feeling better. Hey, I hope you are feeling better. How are you doing? Did you have your procedure done, and how did it go? I hope you are doing well. Thank you for the note. I'm doing okay. This is the first day that I feel like I could possibly do this. So diving back, we take a step. This is what I'm trying to do today. I say a health journey, it's a path, it's a process, and every day we have an opportunity to take a step. So, like I was saying, it's like we can feel, we have fallen so far, we come down to this level, and we can feel very far. That's how I'm feeling right now, very far from where I want to be. But it's like, what can we do? This is what we're going to see here. This is just the reality. Everything I want on this program's, our session, reality-based. We're just accepting the reality, doing what we can with where we are. We take one step today. Maybe that is one small step. To me, I've been spending so much time just resting. And one of the big reflections I was like, I really like sharing thoughts, on health. I think it would feel good for me to share some of what I'm reading of this beautiful things. I think that would be good for the mental health. It's like, feels scary to start over. It's like, look at the camera again. I was like, okay, I can do it, So this is a step, I know I'm going to feel better. I feel better doing it already. And then a health step, I've got tiny goals today. I'm going to try to get the dog out for a walk around the block myself. Like, just, I've signed up and already bought the tickets for 2 half marathons this fall. And it's like, you can sell these things, again. But I was just laughing this morning. I was grabbing a coffee. I was like, I should be training for the half marathon, and instead I am, just contemplating getting the dog out for a walk around the block. It's like, oh man, it's gonna be okay, whatever it is. A ticket's a few bucks. Luncharino. Welcome. I hope you are doing well. Really appreciate the mindset. Hey, awesome. Good to embrace slowing down. Absolutely. Tiny goals. Yeah. This is, I've got another mug. I almost grabbed the other mug, Simple Fasting mug here, free for viewers. Send me an email. I send everybody a free mug. DRZ is Dr. Z at simplefasting.com. My other favorite mug, it just says, see the good, and maybe I should have grabbed that one today, because if there's a silver lining, in things like this, when life is not going the way that we expect or want, it's something like this, giving us an opportunity to break things back down to a foundation and just really embrace some simplicity, strip out the complexity, find gratitude, even in the midst of struggle and difficulty, and set a tiny goal, and just realize that even that, how beautiful is it, to be here, in this moment, to be able to get out and walk around a little bit. Like it all is a miracle. That's how I've been thinking about it. Queen of Heaven is here. Good morning. How are you? So good to have you here with us. I hope you are doing really well. A few things really resonated with me in this first paragraph here. How long has our life been imprisoned by self-hatred and shame? Like, this was a really intense line, And, I just think I've been in kind of 3 weeks here of feeling pretty badly. And like, here is just a tiny microcosm to me. Whereas like an illness is really, such an intense experience in the physical body. And then I was just thinking of this line as a mirror for times where we bring so much discouragement and things on ourselves. And like an illness, hopefully, if we're, lucky, you say this is a relatively self-contained process. But self-hatred and shame, like how much even more misery is that bringing into our whole, emotional, spiritual sort of body that can be such a long process. And so this was helping me just reflect, okay, as much as we want to bring health to the physical body, which is, of course, it's like the big thing that I want, and say, how do we lose weight, improve the metabolism, get blood sugar in a better place, all these wonderful sorts of things. Like, from my perspective, the next level is getting it to a place like this. Are we burdening ourselves? Are we putting ourselves like in a box like this? Can this process help us to see a way out of something like that? And is that something that is even so much better? Easy to be frustrated when your body isn't cooperating. 3 weeks out from gallbladder surgery, and my head thinks I should be doing more than my body will let me. Hey, thank you for sharing. Yeah, isn't that really the case? It is. This is something I've personally really been struggling with. One of the miseries of this experience that I've had has been some facial paralysis. It's like on my left side, and it's a lot better now. But to not be able to control, part of your body, I have found it, even on an emotional level, to be really a difficult thing. But hey, thank you. This is the most important thing, right? The mindset is the key. We spent a lot of time in our talking about mind, body connection, that is really the same thing. And I think this is what I'm personally trying to work through. I recommend this to everybody. When we're in a space like this, body is in need of healing. Strengthening the mind and the mindset. What an incredible thing to do. And it's the same thing, right? As we're improving our mindset, that can bring healing to the body. Absolutely. We want to help these things to flow together, stronger in the mind, stronger in the body, every day taking a step forward. This is the mindset that we want to bring. I really love this sentence, like waking up from a bad dream. When we can see our prison, we can see our potential. I've felt the last few days like waking up from a bad dream. This whole experience has been like a bad dream. It was like a big blur. I was like living my life. Things were going great, and all of a sudden it was like tornado caught up in it. And I'm trying to, now you take a deep breath, and then it's like, this is, to me, the whole experience is giving us a little microcosm, a couple weeks that are like, oh, we can do things like this to ourselves. See the potential of breaking out of it. I'm trying to feel the potential, just to realize, like you were saying, there is strength in the body here and the potential in the future, both physically in the body, recovering from, some illness, some medical procedure, okay? In our emotional body, how we are caring for ourselves, breaking things back down. Maybe if we can really get to a silver lining, or you can think of a time, if you're in a good place now, bless it, find gratitude for it. If we think back into difficult periods where we have, during times like this, where things get broken down, it can be a reset. Can we dig a little bit deeper? Just clearing out some patterns and some other things, taking some time really to rest, can it help us dig down into a deeper level and really get down into the core? Bring an extra amount of love and compassion to ourselves. That maybe a year from now we look back and say, hey, even some good came out of that. Here's our next section. Renowned 7th century Zen master Seng San taught that true freedom is being without anxiety about imperfection. This means accepting our human existence and all of life as it is. Imperfection is not our personal problem. It is a natural part of existing. We all get caught in wants and fears. We all act unconsciously, and we all get diseases and deteriorate. Boy, that hit me, that hit me reading it. I was like, man, I had brought in so much, just in this sort of space, so much judgment on myself, I think all the things that I should have done, of course, I should have worn double socks. I should have done all these things, because theoretically, something could have been done to mitigate this from happening, and this sort of thing, some stupid bug bit me and gave me a disease. And I was just in this spiral of negative thinking, and I realized this, and I'm like, this is a part of the natural world. This is the type of thing that happens to people. It's just, and then look at that. Okay, disease there, that hits. All right, everything I'm trying to do in medicine help people avoid that. Yet some amount of this is inevitable, and then certainly the deterioration, right? We can think, especially in this modern moment, all the technology, all the miraculous biomolecular engineering of our day, still we're mortal, mortal beings. Nobody's solving this, right? And so seeing our place, and this reading was just helping me to see, okay, look, we are here and we're alive in this moment. And, like a flower, you see a flower, such a brief moment. Live and die, and then the seeds, and then the generation and the things. And here we're just like an extended version of this. A few decades. And that's a very difficult thing. I had one kind of lucid interval in the middle of this miserable experience. And I went back, I did a session last summer, Mortality and the Wisdom of Fasting. And I went back and watched that as I was thinking, where I was kind of feeling like dying, honestly, for a little bit. I was like, this was really rough. And so I listened to that, and I found a lot of benefit from that. I took the audio. Not every session do I take the audio out of our live sessions, but I take a lot of the sessions and I put the audio onto the podcast, which you can find on simplefasting.com. But I took that old audio and put that out as a podcast, and it felt good to listen to it and think through it. And it's like, okay, everything we're here in this moment, we're trying to push back against disease, make every attempt we can to be as healthy as possible. And then the other side of it is just recognizing here we are a mortal being and we are flowing through this process. And this is the thing about radical acceptance, is to radical acceptance doesn't mean not pushing to be as healthy as possible, but it means not punishing ourselves like I was doing when parts of this natural world and cycle happen. They go on, when we relax about this imperfection, we no longer lose our life moments in the pursuit of being different and in the fear of what is wrong with us. I just took a big deep breath when I read that. I was like lying on the couch. I was reading this. I was like, I can't barely do anything, Took a deep breath, and not that we like it. I was like, I don't like being ill. But how did they phrase it? I'm not going to lose my life in the fear of what is wrong right now. It's actually that we can find life in a moment like that. Imperfection is not our personal problem. Do you need to hear that today? Imperfection is not your problem. This is the state of all of our existence. Does that help you take a little deeper breath, And can that process, taking a little bit deeper breath, finding a little bit more compassion about, here I am dealing with one illness, but this can be anything, right? This can be traumatic things that we've experienced in the past that we hang on to. This can be habits and patterns that we cycle through that aren't really leading us in a healthy direction. Can we relax about an imperfection and actually help us to flow then toward better health? Hey, Pat is here. Good morning. So nice to have you here. I hope you are doing so well today. Thank you for the well wishes. I'm feeling a bit better. It feels good to be here. Yeah. Resist the urge to push yourself. Yes, thank you. I pushed this out, I gave myself an extra 2 hours on the start time today to just, ease into it and rest. And so this will be my big big thing for the day, and then a little walk at some point with the dog, and then back to resting. probably try to do a little reading. I try to bring you another beautiful thought from this tomorrow, and we'll call that good enough. Yeah, resist the urge to push yourself. Let's send that out to everybody. You know, we are in a hustle culture here, and the culture, I know it makes me feel this way. I've felt this way a lot over the last couple weeks. It's like, because I haven't accomplished anything, you know, other than healing and getting better, like the most important thing a person can do. And, you know, I thought a lot about it today. You know, I was like, should I just take another week? Would it be better? Take another week. I could do it, you know. I'm not pushing myself too hard to come back. I am, it really feels good to be here, you know. Hustle culture is creating illness in itself. Holy cow, isn't it? I mean, it's incredible how much illness it is causing. I just can't even comprehend it. I know in my own personal life, the amount of illness that it caused for me, you know, I think the most important lesson that I never learned in medical school is just how to set appropriate boundaries. And all the role models that I had in medicine, I don't honestly know how they really do what they did, other than the fact that they sacrificed most, I think, of their personal lives. And, you know, they're running 10 different programs and clinics and research things, and, you know, all this, and, you know, all the rewards in medicine. The more things you do like this, the more the system is set up to reward, you know, people. This is like true in medicine. It's certainly true in every corporate sort of space. You know, you're going to make more money. People are going to be more happy with you. The more things you do for people, you're a people pleaser. Everybody's like, thank you. And you win awards. You know, people do all these things. And before, you don't have boundaries, and it can take you to a really bad place. I unfortunately had to learn that a really hard way, because I got on such a cycle. I was like, every individual thing I was doing was so good. I supervise a resident teaching service at a university hospital. I'm seeing the most complex, you know, medical cases in the state of Wisconsin. Everybody coming. I was like, I'm learning. Like, I mean, this is great. And I'm teaching. And I was like, that's so good. So I'm running my whole clinic, you know, and I was like, and that's good. And I love that. And we're promoting health and all of this. And, you know, it'd take me an hour to run through all the things I was doing. But then I ended up with an autoimmune disease, which I think was just triggered by years of stress and lack of self-care. And so there's just a personal example where it's like hustle culture. I was like I feel like I was toward the pinnacle of hustle culture. Wasn't happy though. I had a reporter when I left the university. I started simple fasting, you know. I was like, actual reporter from the newspaper called. They want to have coffee. And they're just like, what are you doing? You know, it's like, you got to tell me about this. They like heard about it, and they couldn't get it. They just didn't get it. They're like, why would you do that? But I was like, we finally ended the thing. I was like, look, we've been talking for an hour, and you've asked about how much money I was making and how prestigious the job was, and all the things I was helping people. You never once asked me if I was happy. You know, it's like, oh man, you know, it's just hustle culture, not asking if people are really happy, if people finding a deep emotional centered place of peace and contentment, you know. And isn't that where health can really spring out of? Oh man. Yeah, this is the thing, you know. Society always say you are not doing enough. You can always do one more thing. Yeah, absolutely. But I see a lot of silver lining in it too for myself, you know. Sometimes we have to learn a lesson the hard way. I learned some hard lessons that way. And that is the lesson right there, absolutely, that happiness trumps riches every time. It really does. Listen to how this segues into this section. D.H. Lawrence described our Western culture as being like a great uprooted tree with its roots up in the air. We are perishing for lack of fulfillment of our greater needs, he wrote. We are cut off from the great sources of our inward nourishment and renewal. We come alive as we reconsider the truth of our goodness and our natural connectedness to all of life. Our greater needs are met in relating lovingly with each other, relating with full presence to each moment, relating to the beauty and the pain that is within and around us. We must plant ourselves again in the universe. There is a message you will not hear from hustle culture, right? Plant ourselves somewhere, you know? Dig down a bit. Tree would be the anti-symbol, you know, of hustle culture, you know, something rooted and grounded that stays in a place and like really settle in. And to me, that feels like the type of cultural critique that is the antidote to the other statement where you say, like, hustle culture creating illness in itself. Yeah, of many, many kinds. I think what they're writing here, like, we have these greater needs. Fulfillment, right? To me, when they say fulfillment, is finding contentment. I think a lot of times, hustle culture, we're trying to find these things. You know, what this culture sells is that you're going to find fulfillment and happiness when you reach a certain dollar number in some account somewhere, where you reach some social status of something. Many of these things are nice to have, and especially in a moment, you know. Someone gives you some award, someone says, oh, you did such a good job. It's like, don't you feel good? And you can derive, you know, some meaning from things like that. There's nothing wrong with it. But when we're using that, see, that's something external. All these are external things. We don't have a culture that teaches us to find contentment internally. That's what the point of this is, that we find self-satisfaction. This is a big thing about how we, you know, take health habits, other sort of things. We're not doing things for other people. We're doing things for ourselves, our own body, our own mind, our own path. Relating lovingly to ourself first, especially, and then letting that flow out. Not seeking to do things for someone else so that they think better of us. Reversing that process, thinking better of ourselves first. This line really hit me, and other days, other sections of this really get into this, but relating to the beauty and the pain that is within and around us. And that's tough, but isn't that the reality? Beauty and the pain so often is together. Like, we don't want the pain. Oh man, I was sitting reading this book. Like I said, other days I'll get into some of the reading. One of the things that happened to me with this Lyme disease, it like hit one of the spinal nerve roots in my back, and it's causing just this radiating pain. It was just terrible. And I was sitting here reading out of this book, and it was just talking about acceptance of pain. And I think really my reading of the book is like, it's especially talking about emotional sort of things, like emotional pain. I was like, I don't know that this is a chronic pain management book. I was sitting here trying to like just accept it, and it was kind of not working, you know. I was like, oh, still pretty miserable. but we plant ourselves again in the universe. And, this section, it did help, some of the worst of it. I was reading this. Imperfection isn't our personal problem. Beauty is present with the pain. Here's how they conclude this section. Although the trance of feeling separate and unworthy is an inherent part of our conditioning as humans, so too is our capacity to awaken. We free ourselves from the prison of trance as we stop the war against ourselves and instead learn to relate to our lives with a wise and compassionate heart. And I would say that that's how I ended that section. And in some really dark experiences that I've had, I sat there in that type of space and thought about a compassionate heart for the experience that I was having. And I focused on taking some deep breaths. And, we made it through. So far, one step at a time. And so this would be my encouragement for everybody today. Think about that word, a wise and compassionate heart. And can we foster right in here, that kind of environment for ourselves? Seeking wisdom, something that I want us to all be about, for sure. And even more important, compassion for ourselves. Hey, we're trying to do something difficult. We are in the middle of a very difficult cultural experience. The waves can be coming against us, currents flowing in a direction. Say, I don't really want to go that way. A lot of a health path walking upstream in the middle of a difficult experience. So find some compassion for ourselves in that sort of space, and bring things into the present moment. Here we are in a day. We have an opportunity to do a few tiny, small, limited things. Take a few minutes here thinking about some hopefully beautiful thoughts. Try to take a few moments in our day. Take a few steps. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a few steps around the block with the dog. I'm going to, before I came on our stream, I'll just tell you a quick, I think it was 3 years ago when I started to recognize, think of our discussion of hustle culture, when I started to realize, man, I've never really developed really good self-care routines. I started a yoga routine. Every morning I have kind of a series of kind of yoga moves, kind of stretches I go through, kind of loosen up the body at the start of the day. I've pretty much done it every day for, 3.5 years. Even when I had the flu, even other times. But it knocked me out. This experience, I haven't done it in 2 or 3 weeks. And so I did it this morning before I came here. Just try to do some of these simple moves, little cat-cow thing. Oh man, it was not good, I gotta tell you. It was not good. It was good, you know what I mean? But it's good to restart. But I was like, whoa. It's we're gonna start from tiny place, build it back up. So wherever you are at today, hopefully at a much better place, take a step today, but think of our discussion of the expectations. Keep our expectations in check, recognize where we are on a cycle, and just take the next step forward. Been struggling with weight, and since finding your channel, I've lost 20 pounds and kept it off comfortably. The mindset I have learned here has been life-changing. Hey, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm just really, really encouraged by that. And I hope you know I'm just so encouraged by your presence here and sharing your thoughts. Really means a lot to me. So Really nice to have you all here. Thanks for the great discussion and thoughts. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Take it easy. Be healthy, everybody. I'll be back again 8:30 Central Time tomorrow. We do some more thinking, share some more health space together. So wish you very well, and we'll see you again soon.